Well, Todd, where we are now is sort of where this sort of second blockade has formed. And earlier there were people sort of on top of that truck celebrating, that grain truck. And I want you to take a good look at this, because earlier the media was accused of lying and saying that emergency vehicles couldn't get through when in fact they could. But, you know, with your own eyes, you can take a look at this and see, I mean, there are trucks all the way across the road and the ditches. There's no way to get through here. You know, so if there was a, you know, an emergency and an ambulance had to get through, at this point they wouldn't be able to. And of course, this sort of blockade has just formed here in the last, you know, 45 minutes, half hour or so. While RCMP were busy on the other side of the highway across from where we are right now in force, starting to dismantle the existing blockade that was mainly transport trucks. They're going through one by one and essentially giving the ultimatum, you know, you can go or you'll be arrested and your truck will be towed. And one by one we were seeing those trucks leaving, and now we've seen all of these new mostly smaller trucks, but some big ones too, arrive and start this second blockade. So, you know, RCMP now have a lot more to deal with than they did just an hour and a half ago. And from where we are right now, we can't see them, but that doesn't mean they're not here. They're certainly here, and they're here in force. I suspect just on the other side of these trucks you could see them, but you know, they're still trying to deal with that primary original blockade, and now dealing with dozens more smaller trucks that have arrived here.
As far as you can tell, Bill, no arrests have been made yet by the RCMP, correct?
When we were on the other side of the highway watching, we didn't witness any arrests. By now that could have changed. We haven't been there in a little while, so certainly there could be some, and you'd have to expect there could be some here. Just earlier when you talked to the mayor, he used the word occupation, and I think that's, you know, a fairly accurate portrayal of what we're seeing here now. You know, this has gone past a blockade where these vehicles are here and refusing to move, and they're essentially occupying this highway.
Can you tell us again, Bill, just for people who are unfamiliar with where you are, just how important, how crucial that border crossing is between Alberta and Montana?
Well, you know, on a typical day, you would see, you know, a steady stream of transport vehicles moving down this highway right behind me here. I don't know if you could hear that honking. Right now, everything is at a standstill. Thousands and thousands of vehicles would come through here every day. It's the busiest border crossing between BC and the Great Lakes. So, you know, you're talking about from the Canadian prairies, you know, a massive agriculture sector, and of course a massive oil and gas sector. And a lot of those products get moved through this crossing right here. That's just a couple of kilometers down here, and at this point that's choked off and nothing is moving.
And obviously this began as a protest by truckers and their supporters against vaccine mandates, that they had to have a vaccination or else they'd have to quarantine when they cross the Canada-US border. It's become so much more, hasn't it, Bill?
Well, and that's exactly it, Todd. And you know, we get some anger from these people for not sharing their message and their argument that they want all vaccines to end everything from masking to, you know, vaccine passports. But in fact, of course, it's their actions that have escalated this past what was a protest, where we could safely deliver the message that they're, you know, that they're trying to put out there, and they've escalated to a point where they're actually creating a safety hazard, and as well, of course, they're having a major economic impact. And as the mayor put very eloquently, you know, they claim to be fighting for freedom, but they are certainly infringing upon the freedom of others in terms of movement, in terms of other things. We have been, you know, told to leave from the town of Coots by multiple protesters. We have had some of our news reports interrupted by loud horns, brights shone at us intentionally to try to essentially ruin what we're doing. We've been told that, you know, we're liars, that we're lying about what's actually happening. So, you know, it started as a protest about one thing, but as you say, it's certainly escalated to a much bigger problem.
Yeah, and as for Coots itself, and the mayor was talking about, you know, 250 people, give or take, Bill, that are now basically cut off from the rest of Canada as a result of what's going on. And I guess the question now for a lot of people is, how long can this go on for? How long are those people willing to stay there in their trucks and their pickup trucks and their rigs? And how long will the RCMP tolerate that?
And you know, an hour and a half ago, that looked like a question we were about to get an answer to when we saw police start to move in and start to dismantle this blockade. But now with this new sort of blockade here, that question is once again very much up in the air, you know, and in fact, in a way it's worse because now it appears access to town is completely cut off, whereas before you could not access the border, but you could sort of wind your way through the trucks and get into town as we had to do. It was slow and difficult, but you had to kind of snake your way through the trucks, and now you can't even do that. So the question of when people can get in and out of here is now an even more difficult question to answer.
Also, Bill, you were telling us about the contingent we've seen from the RCMP, and I know you're a little bit further away from where you were before, but if you can just tell us what you did see in terms of the sheer force, the manpower out there. The RCMP, of course, no stranger to dealing with blockades and protests and having to sort of peacefully negotiate with sometimes very angry protesters.
And clearly they came prepared for anything. They have helicopters in the air. They have, you know, their big response teams, their tactical vehicles here, their big mobile operation command centers. They have, you know, again, I don't know the number, but it's a huge show of strength. And, you know, of course, we know that a lot of times that's to have that massive presence because, you know, potentially that's one way of avoiding conflict by showing that huge showing of strength where, you know, these people can see there's a lot more of them than we expected, and they're heavily armed with you know, with guns and with vehicles. And so, you know, that's one way of potentially de-escalating a situation, and it appeared like that it was working to some extent, and now it's not clear exactly what's happening.
Before we go, Bill, just the cold as well, and I know you're feeling it right now. I mean, it's close to -30 with the wind chill where you are.
And you know, for these protesters, they had the warm cabs of their trucks for the most part, but you know that's affecting the RCMP who are here because, you know, they are out in it. And earlier you saw them going from cab to cab, truck to truck, trying to talk to these people, letting them know you're going to be arrested if you don't move, essentially. And so you know that's hitting them. You know, it seemed earlier like they were sort of taking shifts. One group would go out, one would come back, presumably trying to warm up a little bit, as we've been trying to do as well. But there's no doubt the cold is impacting everybody out here, as well as, you know, potentially impacting electronics. Our cameras, the batteries are dying much quicker than they normally would be on our equipment, and you know that's going to be affecting the RCMP as well.
Yeah, Bill, we'll let you warm up. Thank you for this. Appreciate it.